Welcome to the Bass Club podcast. In today's episode we are speaking with the Chicago-based chiptune artist Saskrotch. We talk about his musical influences growing up, online forums, and the chiptune scene.
Thank you everybody for checking out the Bass Funk podcast. Today we have a very, very special guest. A guy I've known for a while, decades even, since at least 2003 from the Aphex Twin message board, xltronic.com or aphextwin.nu. And a fellow music producer, Saskrotch. Do you mind if I call? Do you want to be called by your first real name, or is...
No, you can call me Nigel. That's cool.
Okay. How are you, Nigel?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Good enough.
That's
stealing your material.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's always weird to me when someone I do know calls me Saskrotch or someone I don't know calls me Nigel.
Yeah. Well, we met once in real life. I think twice. I met you in the bathroom in New York at Blipfest 2007, I believe.
Yeah. I talked to your mom.
Oh, shit. That's right. That dirty whore.
She sounded lovely.
Yeah. Oh, my God. I forgot all about that. Yeah, we should talk about that. That was epic, man. Like, 2007 Blipfest was, like, a fucking epoch for that community. I don't think people understand, like, what... like chiptune was fuck, I hate using that idiom, but it was actually like the new punk rock in a way, you know.
Yeah.
But all these dudes like making their own like software on Commodore 64s and stuff. But let's talk about chiptune first. Usually I go into the history, but let's just get it out of the way because I think that's what everybody knows you best for. How did you get into chiptune?
I mean, when I first started getting into it, I didn't know it was a thing.
Yeah.
Probably, I remember finding some bit shifter MP3s.
Yeah.
Specifically Time Machine Go. And someone sent me tracks from this guy called Widget Freak, who I have not really run into anywhere online since.
Okay.
And I think he used Carillion Tracker.
What is Carillion Tracker? I've never heard of that.
It was just another Game Boy program, but like no one really used it.
Okay.
It might have been. I don't know if it was before LSDJ, or if it just like because of what LSDJ was, no one really paid attention.
Okay. Well, there was like Nano Loop, and then there was LSDJ. Oh yeah, you know what? I do remember it. Wasn't it kind of like LSDJ in a little bit?
Yeah, I think it had like I don't even know if I've ever really looked at it. I just remember like it was sort of a joke where someone would bring it up because nobody used it.
Yeah. So you were listening to what was his name again?
Widget Freak with a PH.
Oh, God. Was this like on... Because I think with BitShifter, everyone sort of discovered BitShifter on 8-Bit Peoples, right? But was Widget Freak from micromusic.net? Were you like lurking around there? Or?
No, I don't know where he was from. Like, someone just sent me a link.
Oh, wow.
And, I can't find anything about him now.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think a lot of these guys were... Because I remember there was like guys like Firestarter. Do you remember that guy?
Yeah, wait.
Yeah.
Kind of. I was thinking of Firebrand Boy.
Oh, yeah. Well, even him, he kind of went away, too.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, like after like 2008. We hung out with them at New York. Yeah, that guy's really cool. The Irish guy, right? Irish or Scottish?
Yeah.
I think it's Scottish.
I think Scottish.
Yeah.
I remember he explained what a Glasgow kiss was to me.
Oh, gosh. What is a Glasgow kiss?
It's just a headbutt.
Oh, great. That's good. That went in the right direction. Like I remember Firestarter was like a big deal on micromusic.net, but then around 2007, I never really heard about the micromusic.net guys kind of weren't the same as like the Blipfest guys. Do you think that's a safe thing to say, or?
Yeah, I think they were more Europe based.
Yeah. Like kind of like demo sceners and stuff, huh?
Yeah, I was never super involved with micro music. Like I would pop on and find songs, but I don't think like I ever like met anyone through there.
What was your first like label for putting out your music? Because I remember you were posting stuff on Xeltronic, and it was like the one with Princess Peach on the cover. I think it was like Chip Breaks, was it? Or
My Little Peach.
My Little Peach, yeah. But I don't think that was on a net label, was it? Or
that was on Give Daddy the Knife.
Oh God, I remember that.
Yeah,
that was yours.
I had to start my own label to put stuff out.
Man, that's fucking awesome, dude.
Well, no, actually, I'm trying to think now because that was around the time when Saberpulse started talking to me.
Yeah.
And he sent me some of his stuff, and I was like, I want to get a label started, like, just to put this out.
Oh, wow.
But I'm pretty sure Nintendo Breaks was on there, which was my first thing, so I don't know how he would have heard of me without that. So I'm not sure now.
Okay.
It was like 2004.
Yeah, when did because I remember Saberpulse at 2007, or was it 2008 or 2007? He was like pretty big. Was
2007.
Yeah, so was it? I think
that was the first time we met.
Yeah,
which it makes sense because we're from different continents.
Oh yeah, for sure. For those of you at home, Nigel is from. Is it alright where I say where you're from, or I guess it's on your band? Yeah, he's from Chicago, and I am residenting in Montreal right now. But at the time, I was even further than that. It was a fucking 20-hour bus ride to get there, Greyhound. Yeah, but
Moncton?
Yeah, for sure.
I pay attention.
Yeah. So because bringing up Saberpulse, I'm thinking that was like the MySpace era, and I think most of us were getting popular or getting heard through MySpace. It wasn't through like official air quotes channels, right?
Yeah, I was talking to someone about that recently, because I don't know if you heard, MySpace just lost 15 million songs when they fucked up a server migration.
Okay.
So, like, everything from before 3 years ago is gone now.
Oh, weird. I didn't even know they still had that stuff, honestly. To tell the truth.
They changed the layout, but pretty much everything, it was just like a museum of everyone that left MySpace.
Oh, wow. I really wish they would have kept the messages, because there was like some messages I wish I still had, There was people like, do you remember Heavy Grinder?
I don't know.
It was like one of these like accounts that would spam. You would always get it in your account. It'd be like, oh, check out, I'm DJing at this place. It had nothing to do with chiptune or whatever. It was like kind of like trance. And I checked like the other day, and this person is huge. It's huge, and I was like, oh my god. I remember getting these because you remember you could invite people to events. Maybe I shouldn't call it spam. Maybe that's a bad way to say it. But like, I get all these invites for like Miami clubs. It's like, dude, I'm in fucking Moncton, New Brunswick. I can't go to this, But anyways, so I kind of want to go through how you got into music in the first place, because like I feel like you've had like a pretty like 2-decade spanning like career, and the podcast, like I'm trying to make it sort of like a thing where people can kind of learn from it, especially like young producers, because like when we started, we didn't have anything. We just had Xeltronic and Soulseek, and that's how we shared knowledge,
Yeah.
But how did you start? Were you always like into music, or like what was going on with that?
Yeah, like I started learning bass when I was 11.
Okay.
For some reason, it was because of a Presidents of the United States of America song.
Okay. Which one?
It was Kitty.
Okay.
Specifically because of the part where it was like, Kitty ran up and scratched me through my jeans, and then someone like drags a pick across the strings, and I was like, that's really cool. I want to know how to do that.
Awesome.
So I played in bands in high school. At some point for Christmas, I got a 4-track recorder.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and then I just had to like hobble stuff together, because that's around when I was starting to really get into electronic stuff. And I had like an Alesis HR16.
Yeah.
A Yamaha keyboard it was not like a good keyboard at all. It was big, but I got it in like 4th grade and just never got rid of it. I still have it somewhere.
Oh, really?
And then just like guitar effect pedals, and I would just mess with sounds basically. I'm not sure if I even have any of that stuff.
Oh, that'd be cool to go back and like listen to. You should put that as like Saskrotch lost tapes.
Yeah, I found a CD of this old stuff. I was using the name Killer Sock Monkey.
That's a fucking awesome name, dude.
It's an awesome name for like a 16-year-old.
Yeah, but you no one knows how old you are on the internet. Just make another account. Just be like Killer Sock Monkey. Why not?
And I found a CD of like some of my old stuff, and I opened the case, and of course it's empty. And I was like, God damn it!
So this was like around high school. What got you into electronic music?
I don't remember. It might have been in junior high. My mom she bought the MTV Buzzbin compilation. And it had, yeah.
What is so what is the Buzzbin? I'm Canadian. I've never heard of this.
I didn't know about it outside of this CD series, but I think it was just like stuff that was a hit.
Okay.
Like, kind of like That's What I Call Music, but before that existed.
Okay. Yeah, in Canada we had we had the same thing. I forget what it was called. Yeah. Big Shiny Tunes. That's what they used to call it.
Okay.
Yeah, and so they would put like Presidents of the United States Lump, and then Nirvana Heart-Shaped Box, and it was just like whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember it was like mostly rock music, and then like D'Angelo. But they had Setting Sun by the Chemical Brothers.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Which I had never heard on the radio before, and I was like, holy shit, like what is happening here?
Yeah.
And the Chemical Brothers were like my first big foray into electronic stuff.
Yeah, it was really catchy, and around that time too. I don't think young people realize that. Maybe in Chicago, you guys had like a cool industrial scene and stuff, but I think for most of North America, like if you listen to electronic music, people are like, "Oh, that's stupid. That's fucking techno. They don't play their own instruments." And it was like that right up until like Skrillex, basically.
Yeah,
2008.
I still listen to Dig Your Own Hole all the time.
Oh man, that's a really good album, man.
Yeah.
So you kind of had like the punk rock high school band background, and then you started to discover electronic music. When did you get into the X-Eltronic kind of IDM Aphex Twin world?
Probably around 16 or 17.
Okay.
Because I remember what's crazy is like I heard Aphex Twin because my dad bought Richard D. James' album.
Oh, really? That's a cool dad.
Yeah, but I don't think he was ever that into it. Like he should just like we always had a subscription to Spin magazine.
Okay.
Which I don't know if you had that, but it was like the cool version of Rolling Stone.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think he would just buy stuff that they would talk about in it.
It was the music equivalent to like Hustler. It's like, yeah, Playboy, then Hustler. Yeah.
Because I know he's the reason I knew about Aphex Twin and Boards of Canada.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, but I don't like, other than like when he first got the CDs, I don't remember him listening to them.
This isn't Rush.
Yeah, they just kind of, I mean, my dad was like a punk guy from back in the day.
Oh, cool.
Like there's I don't know if it's still around, but there's a recording of me when I was 5 singing a Flipper song.
Oh, wow. So you got the Richard D. James album, and then how did you find Xeltronic? You just like kind of like Googled it and then started posting there, or what?
I think so. I had a friend named Hoggle. Okay. Who got that name because he looked exactly like the character from The Labyrinth.
Okay.
We didn't really get along in high school, and later we became friends because of like breakcore and IDM.
Okay.
And because he lived like a few blocks away. But yeah, I probably was just like looking up Aphex Twin stuff, and I was like, I probably thought aphextwin.nu was like his website when I first started looking at it.
Oh yeah. It was like pretty bad back in the day. Well, I guess it still is. It never got that UI upgrade that they promised a decade ago, right?
Yeah, I think you still have to like pay some kind of membership to be able to post images.
Yeah. Because I remember that's sort of like where we kind of met, for the first time, and it was cool because like it was. Like, the internet was kind of in its infancy, and there wasn't really, like, I guess if you had Spin Magazine sending you Richard D. James album, that's cool, but, like, it was hard. You couldn't find, like, Bogdan Rosinsky otherwise, or Autecker. It was, like, really hard, So, I guess that leads me to the next thing. Like, what about Soulseek? Like, I guess that was the natural progression. You go on Xeltronic, and then you start hanging out on Soulseek, right?
Yeah, I mean, there was a ton before that, though. There was, like, I remember Napster, LimeWire. I was super into Audio Galaxy.
Oh, Audio Galaxy, my God, I forgot about that one.
And, one of the things I loved about that is because I had terrible internet, but my friend didn't.
Yeah.
So I would, like, be at her house downloading music and burning it to CDRs to take home.
Okay.
So my Audio Galaxy account was on her computer.
Uh-oh.
And one of the things you could do is on the website, if you hit play, like, in your list of downloaded stuff, it would start playing on your computer.
Okay.
So one time I really freaked out her brother playing some kind of... I think it was one of the Aphex Twin Pac-Man remixes.
Oh, God. I remember on Xeltronic... There was nobody doing, like, chiptune breakcore. Sometimes, like, people were kind of throwing in samples or whatever, like you brought up, like, Aphex Twin Pac-Man. But I think, like, you and there was another guy, his name was, like, Audio Blender.
Oh, yeah, Audio, but ODD.
Yeah. I think you guys were the ones that really took that flag and started running with it, and like putting exclusively like breakcore elements over top of chiptune. And like looking back now, like 2 decades later, that's like pretty cool, Like you guys maybe Yeah.
I mean, we didn't really have anyone to learn off of. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I was super into Bogdan Rosinsky, who had it was sort of chip breakish, but not really.
Yeah.
It had like the lo-fi melodies, but it wasn't exactly what we were doing.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was always a huge inspiration, and this dude from Australia named Epsilon that I found later. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah. I know what you mean when you're saying the no one to learn off of, because like when snares came out, people could just be like they'd listen to a snare song and then just like spend the whole night trying to kind of copy that. But it's like who can you copy to get that sort of that style? You know what I mean? It's like you guys sort of invented it yourself, like kind of like Memphis, like you just kind of did it because you wanted it to happen, right?
Yeah, and I mean that I don't even know what it was. I really liked breakcore in video games.
Yeah.
And actually, Audio Blender he found me again recently. He's doing stuff under the name Asperkraken.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if I've heard any, like, I just know that that's the name. I don't know if like I've been exposed to it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out later. So how did you get involved with, like, the Blipfest community? Like, I guess it was a natural progression. You had a bunch of people organizing chiptune shows, and they see this guy who's making this kind of original style of chiptune, like a subgenre, let's say. So I guess it was almost, it was like a no-brainer that they'd reach out to you and try to get you to play and stuff, right?
Well, actually, what I remember, I had to sneak into a show when I was 20.
Oh, wow.
Because the drinking age was 21.
Oh, God, that's right. That's 21 in America.
Yeah. And it was on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, wow.
When it was, God, what was it? It wasn't the Chiptune Resistance Tour. I can't remember what it was called now, but it was Bitshifter, Null Sleep, Kovacs, and then Bud Melvin played because he was still in Chicago.
Okay.
And I kind of like talked to all of them, and Bitshifter was the only one who had heard of me.
Oh, wow.
Because I think Nintendo Breaks had just come out.
Okay.
And through that, I just started talking to Josh. That's his real name for his real friends. So,
okay, yeah.
And we just started talking, and I would like send him stuff I was working on, and I think we started talking about me doing a release with them before I played Blipfest.
Okay.
Because I know a lot of stuff. I played like early unfinished versions of it at that set.
The first one was 2007 that you played at, right? Like the first Blipfest was 2006.
Yeah, and I played at the second one.
Wow. Man, that was a fucking... like, to this day, that was like a fucking awesome, like, just experience, you know? Like, you really felt it in the air. It was so new, and it was like all these dudes doing shit that's, like, never been done. And, like, I forget Null Sleep's real name, but he was, like, how he was handling, like, the barrage of press. Remember? There was all these, like it was like NBC and CBS and stuff. They were like outside, and he was like, "I don't want to talk to these people." Like it was so cool. I was like, "This is legit fucking punk rock," you know. Like I've been in bands that like opened for DOA and stuff. I did the punk thing, and when I saw that, I was like, and even like on MicroMusic.net, going earlier than that, Gwem telling Malcolm McLaren to go fuck himself. It's like, whoa, these guys are cool as fuck, man. You know. What do you remember much about 2007 or?
Yeah, like one of the things that I loved about it is that everybody was so different.
Yeah.
Like I remember Akira, 8GB.
Yeah.
He had like I can't remember specifics. I just remember there was like so many different kinds of chiptune.
Yeah.
And there was this guy, Treewave, who, like, he had a printer on stage that did percussion, like it was programmed. There were, like, nails in it. I don't know. Like, it was just... Because now, like, if you go to a chiptune show, it's basically just dudes with Game Boys.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of that then, too, but there was, like... I remember I saw Hallie play.
Oh my god, that was intense.
And that blew my mind. Like his shit still blows my mind.
Yeah, man. When he started playing that Gradius cover and everyone's just fucking freaking the fuck out. Oh man, that was intense. I remember that, man. That was so cool.
And there's like, and Vert was there, and he did have a Game Boy, but it didn't sound like anything like anyone else's.
Yeah.
And I think Chibi Tech was just dancing on stage during his set.
Yeah, he was wearing like a maid outfit, I think, or something. Or
yeah, it was before they transitioned. And I think that was like, with her, like, I look back at stuff and I'm like, she was like slowly getting there, and it's kind of cool.
Yeah. What about the BSK? BSK was there too.
Oh my god! And Bowden Standig.
That it was incredible that all these people, like you were talking about Akira. I think he was from Argentina. You have people from Japan. You have people from all over the world, man. Like, and even like the fans, like from Canada, and just everyone showing up to this one spot. It was so fucking DIY. You literally had Maker in the background set up like a table, like showing off their magazine and stuff. It was so cool. The lights were like all made by that one guy. I forget who it was.
The light wall.
Yeah, it was so incredible, surreal, and it just felt like it was just all brand new. It was like a new genre, and it was all like based out of just kind of like it was like the antithesis of Pro Tools, I think.
Yeah, and I think like at that point, there wasn't like a what's the word I'm looking for? Not like a palette. That's not it. Like there wasn't a blueprint for what a chiptune show should be.
Yeah,
there was nothing like it before. And I've played a ton since then, and it's mostly like someone on stage and someone on visuals, and then nothing's been like to that scale where they're like, let's make some shit.
Do you think it has to do because 2008, I think it started changing a lot, and I've sort of meditated on it, not being like, not in a negative way or whatever, but just trying to analyze like why, because you want to have like a 2007 Blipfest all the time, right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it was just like the fact that it was so dangerous that like a lot of the software was still like in beta, like it was just dudes that just like Wem was making Maximizer, and then LSDJ I think was not even at whatever the final version is now, and then
LSDJ is still constantly being updated.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, cool. And you had like you're talking about Howie. He brought his own like dev card. This is like before EverDrives or Power Pack. This guy had his own like thing.
From what I can tell, it was a Famicom cart with an SD card slot, but there was also like a knob or a button that would advance one NSF file.
That's so crazy. Yeah.
Because I played another show with him, and I asked him, like, I can't remember if he could send me some of his stuff, and he gave me one of his SD cards and let me copy it. And I've still got that somewhere, just like a giant folder full of his NSF files.
That's awesome, man.
He does all that at MML.
Oh, God. That's like,
yeah,
that's just like a scripting language, right?
Yeah. It's like sheet music in a text document, basically.
Yeah, I remember Null Sleep had like a tutorial on that on his old website. Yeah. Oh man, that's crazy. But it was like, it was just all these people, and like you said, it was so like, I guess I'll use like a modern word. It was like a very inclusionary. I think this was before like the kind of. Not that's bad or whatever, but I think it's just more mainstream now, which is a good thing, But like back then, you wouldn't see. There was a lot of girls playing at the show, There's like Bubbly Fish, and there was like a lot of just everybody from everywhere putting out music, making their own fucking software to do it. It was the coolest thing. Do you think? What do you think sort of happened? Do you think that was like the top of it, or do you think it's? Did you ever see like it? Because a lot of people think like the community declined a lot. You hear people say that it kind of got commercialized or it kind of lost its way. Is this even like a viewpoint that you have of it, or?
I don't think it. I wouldn't call it commercialized. I think it got big enough for aspects of it to end up in other things, if that makes sense.
Yeah, Timberland putting it in a Nelly Furtado song.
Yeah. I think there was a 50 Cent song that had ARPs in it, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that was the AO technology. Yeah.
Yeah. Lady Sovereign had a sort of a chippy sounding song.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I think basically dance music got way more accessible and more mainstream, and I think a lot of chiptune producers wanted. It seems like everyone's focusing on making that sound.
Yeah.
With a Game Boy.
Yeah.
Because back then there was like chiptune sort of had it. Everyone was always like, it's not a genre, it's a medium. But there was like a very like pop, not really poppy, but like kind of a jazz. I can't explain it. There was a sound.
Yeah.
There was like a type of song that just sounded like chiptune.
Yeah.
And now I just think I think people are still really pushing the boundaries of like what those little sound chips can do.
Yeah.
But I think they're doing it in a way to copy like EDM. There's a lot of like, it kind of went away, but for a while there was a ton of people making dubstep on Game Boys. And I think it got big enough where there were all these people who were just wanted to be a part of it, and then they would disappear.
Yeah. Because it was like the hot new thing, yeah.
Yeah, and it did just kind of, it got weird for a little bit. I think it was a little oversaturated.
Yeah, and a lot of community drama, I think, too, kind of tore that all apart,
Yeah, I know I didn't help with any of that.
Oh, I honestly, I kind of, I don't know. I just know one day I tried to go to a website and it was down, and I was like, I usually go here. That's as far as the drama went for me, but, and then asking, yeah.
I'm not saying, like, I just know myself, and I'm kind of super into drama.
Okay.
Like, I love pretending to, like, start something, and then people take it seriously.
Okay.
And a lot of people, I had so many times where I'd be at a show, people I didn't know, and they're like, "Hey, you're Saskrotch?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Hey, you're Nigel?
Yeah. Like, hey, like, you trolled me on 8-Bit Collective, and I'm like, all right, you gotta be more specific.
Yeah.
Because it's really easy to be a dick on the internet.
Yeah. Do you think that 2008 was sort of the beginning, or do you think... because when I guess what I'm trying to imply is I remember when I went to 2008 Blipfest, and it was cool to see everybody, but I felt the atmosphere just kind of was totally different, Like you saw like a lot of guys, like a lot of kids that came in that were just I don't want to sound like an old man, but not sort of respecting like kind of the people that were like organizing the show, I guess I'll say. And it was a little bit different, I felt, It seemed less about, like, the community and less about, like, doing something new. And it was more about kind of, like you were saying earlier, like, kind of jumping on a bandwagon of a new genre, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember 2008. I know I did an open mic. What? That was before the Gramercy Theater, but I think they had to have it. It wasn't at the same place as 2007, right?
Yeah, was it the I-Beam? Is that what it was called, or that was the first one?
I-Beam was 2006 and 7. It
okay.
Might have been like the Brooklyn Bell House?
Yes, it was like a bar somewhere in Brooklyn, from what I remember.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a ton of memories from that for some reason.
Yeah. So I guess maybe I should switch gears on it. I'm not trying to focus on negative shit. That's not my thing. I was just so blown away because up until 2007, from like the Gwems on the micromusic.net and the Null Sleeps of Blipfest 2007, and then seeing it being popularized by Timberland stealing like people's fucking mod files and stuff. It was a lot to take in. It was just a lot of and being a part of the subculture, just as a spectator, right?
Yeah, and I think because of what I was saying before about just electronic stuff being more popular, and then like there's more people into chiptune, and I think a lot of the new people focused on a very specific kind of sound.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people that had been doing their own thing just kind of they didn't quit, but they weren't really being recognized. And a lot of them I don't think wanted to be.
Yeah.
Like most of them seem fine just like doing their own thing and having fun.
Yeah.
Whereas there's like new people who are like, this is going to be my thing.
Yeah. Yeah. To switch gears, how many countries have you played in? Because you've been to like Japan, you've been like everywhere, dude.
No, I haven't been to Japan.
Are you sure? I thought you played in the Blipfest in... Well, are you sure?
No.
Holy... Sure. Okay, guys, I'm a fucking idiot. That's the guy. Are you sure you can go to Japan? Yeah, well, I think I'd fucking remember that if I went to fucking Japan. Yeah, okay.
See, I did Toronto once.
Okay.
Poland, Denmark. Just recently I did France and Belgium.
Sick. What was it like going like there to perform music? Like, what is it like telling your family, like, yeah, I'm going to Belgium to play a show?
It was exciting. Like, I hadn't I'd really loved playing in Europe because it was something that I hadn't even really realized was happening. Is that here I'm playing like a lot of the same places with a lot of the same people, and it got to the point where I just knew everybody and everyone knew me.
Yeah.
So it was just like everyone was friends, and that's cool. And then I went to Europe, and there were people who were like fans, and they're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you're here! I love this album and this." And it was like I had forgotten that. I don't know. I'd forgotten that people liked me.
Yeah, you'd forgotten that was like the point. Yeah, you're an artist putting things out.
Like, I'll tell this story in a bit where I got lost in the red light district in Antwerp.
Okay,
but
got lost, air quotes.
It's not that long of a story, and it'll end with what I was getting to.
Okay,
a friend I made out there, Marie. I'm not really sure what her real last name is because it's not real on Facebook. She does stuff as Cyanide Dancing.
Okay. That's a good name.
Yeah, and she was like I always get along with everyone, but there's certain people on trips where you just like instantly become friends.
Okay.
And she was that friend for this trip. And I think I was doing sound check at the venue, and she was like, "We're all going to this pita place, and I'll send you a pin on Facebook to come meet us when you're done." And I was like, "All right," and I was stoked because I was hungry. Because people in Europe don't eat as much.
Oh, really?
At least the people we were with.
Okay.
So I load this thing up on my GPS, and I can't read any of the street signs.
Oh,
like, they don't make any sense to me. So I'm basically just staring at my phone and making sure that my dot is getting closer to the one on the phone.
Okay.
So I'm there, and I'm like, all right, I'm here. And I look up, and I'm in this kind of alley. Like, it's not a main street or an alley. It's somewhere between the two. And there's just storefronts with women in them.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh, this pita place must be fucking amazing. And so I'm looking at my phone. I'm just kind of like walking up and down and looking around. And there's also like 4 other pita places in this street.
Okay.
So I'm like going to each one and looking in. And it got to the point where like one of the girls started knocking on the glass and waving at me to come in. Like,
wow.
I was positive they were like, he knows what he's doing. He's just shy.
Oh, wow.
But, and eventually I found out that it was just like something happened between Facebook and Google where it moved the pin that they were at over like 2 blocks.
Oh, wow. Huh.
But I finally got there, and I was like walking up, and I heard someone say to someone else, was like, is that Saskrotch? And I was like, yeah, this feels super cool to like hear this kind of shit.
Yeah, man. Of course.
People to be like surprised that I would show up.
Yeah, man, it's a good feeling because you put a lot of work into your stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. For Christ's sakes, you traveled from Chicago to fucking Poland, right? That's not a 1 hour Greyhound. That's like a 7-hour flight.
Oh no, that was like 14 hours.
Okay. A little off, but you know.
Yeah, the people who ran the tank, Mike Rosenthal mainly. The tank was another New York venue that did ship stuff a lot. They don't really now.
He's like the Anamanaguchi's manager, right? Anamanaguchi?
No, I don't think so.
Or he was? I don't remember. I don't know. You know. You would know. I don't. Just throwing it out there, you know.
But he got like a government grant specifically for taking U.S. artists out of the country to perform.
Oh, cool.
But I was like the last person that was on board for this tour. Mm-hmm. So they had to like save money for my flight back, and I think I took 4 or 5 planes to get back home.
Oh wow. Expensive planes?
Oh no, they were cheap. That's why there were so many of them.
Okay. When you were like going through customs, I guess since they got the grant, I guess this kind of answers my question. You don't have to like, and I don't want to implement anybody or whatever, but I know if you're an artist and you go to another country and you start playing, like it's kind of, you know, under the table, and maybe sometimes it shouldn't be. Were you like hassled at the airport where they like, why does this guy have a MIDI controller and a mixer? Or
well, what I did for that, at least for the first one, is I figured out how to use just like a shitty USB game controller as a USB or as a MIDI mixer, not a MIDI controller.
Yeah.
Just like specifically so that wouldn't come up.
Okay.
But our whole deal was, and it was the same with the last time I went, we just basically had places that would like pay, instead of paying us, they would like pay for our travel or our hostels. Mm-hmm. So like it didn't cost us anything, but we weren't actually making money. So like legally they couldn't do anything.
Oh, that's the best way to do it, man.
And we had like a per diem on our trip, the first trip, for some reason.
What's a per diem?
It's like, here's some money for the day.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like it was walking around money, basically.
Okay, PETA money.
And the whole like 10 days I was in Europe the first time, I only spent $20 of my own money. And then I got home and realized I had like $20 worth of Polish money.
Oh, wow. Man, that's so cool. Like traveling around and then getting recognized and stuff like that. Do you think, I don't know, do you think like there's like some weird kind of like nostalgia? I guess there is, you know, like a nostalgia for that sound that's like sort of, everyone had a Nintendo basically.
Yeah.
At some point, you know?
I think a lot of people try to like separate it, and I don't think that makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
Like it's amazing to do new things with old machines, you know, obsolete software, you know, taking something really old and making it new again.
Yeah.
But some people are just, there's people just like, I fucking hate video games. Like, I remember getting into a big debate somewhere on maybe 8-Bit Collective about, you know, how are video games and chip music related? And it was like, they don't have to be, but they are. And you don't have to make video game music, but it's always going to be a small part of what you do if you're in the chip music scene.
And also too, like, I don't think you have to like video games or like chiptune, because I mean a lot of the same sound chips were on non-video game devices, right? You know, Like,
yeah, I mean,
the Yamaha chip was like in a ton of crap, you know.
Yeah, all the like FM 4-op FM synthesis chips were like, it's like, oh, it's in the Genesis and in arcades, but it was also in like a ton of keyboards and a ton of 80s albums.
Yeah, if you like Brodsky Beat, you'll probably like Green Hill Zone, you know?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I never understood that. I found, there was like a weird hatred for video games. It was like, I don't know why there was like the disassociation, because I don't know, I guess maybe it would hurt the image of it. I don't know. It's kind of weird to sort of try to whitewash that. I don't
know. I think like until very recently, video games weren't really considered a legitimate art form, anyways.
Yeah.
And I had another point and I forgot it. Shit.
No, but what's his name? The Siskel and Ebert guy. He was like, "Oh, video games aren't art," and that's like a weird subjective thing to say, I guess. But I don't know. I'm not. Whatever. I like video games. I like Saskrotch. So whatever, man. Who cares? Yeah. I don't have to choose one over the other. That's stupid.
It's like, but yeah, like up until recently, not just the art form, but it was always like, video games are for kids.
Yeah.
You know, it was like adult gaming wasn't really accepted until like 5 or 6 years ago, I feel.
Yeah, they never played Night Trap. That's that's why. No,
well, then they can get the 25th anniversary reissue on Switch.
Yeah, it comes with a VHS tape. Yeah, you're right. You know, I think when it started, I feel like when Obama found out that it was like video games were recession proof, I feel like the whole narrative of video games just switched on a dime, you know? And like 2004, it was like, oh, GTA is like, destroying our children's, minds. And then when like GTA made like $1 bajillion, they're like, oh, video games are great, man. What are you talking about? Everyone should have one. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, whatever. What's your favorite system for chiptune? Like in terms of sound, what do you think? What do you prefer?
I mean, like, I'm kind of tired of Game Boys.
Okay.
I really loved. Not a lot of people are using them, but I love the Genesis sound chip.
Okay.
I think the Atari XE had a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, I love the things that people don't use that much. And that's how I'm with anything that's unpopular. I'm usually really into it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I've been on SoundCloud kind of trying to find new stuff, and a lot of guys are making stuff on like those Roland like MIDI boxes, you know? Like I think there's the SC99. Is that one?
I don't know.
Yeah. It sounds like Street Fighter Alpha 3, and I see a lot of dudes taking doing covers of like known games, but on other systems. Like they would do Donkey Kong Country, but on like a PC engine, or they'll do like Bonk's Adventure, but on like on a Super Nintendo. And that's a cool trend. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with it.
So I guess like, I wanted to ask you. I don't know if it's the same thing. I kind of wrote down some questions because I'm a bit of a dork. But how do you think music has changed in 2019? Because it's not really net labels anymore. Like how, if a guy who's like a guy or girl or whatever, if like a 15-year-old came up to you and said, "I have an album. What should I do, Nigel?" What would you tell him?
I mean, put it on Bandcamp. Like that was why I stopped doing record label stuff. Like I had Give Daddy the Knife and Handheld Heroes.
Yeah.
And it just kind of got to the point where it's like anyone can have a Bandcamp. You might be able to get more recognition off of someone with like a well-known label, but there's like nothing. We're at the point where there's nothing stopping you from getting your shit out there.
Yeah.
I mean, when I first started Give Daddy the Knife, I was burning CDs at home and mailing them to people.
Yeah, I remember that.
I would go to Kinko's and print out one version and then make a bunch of copies of it and cut them up.
Yeah.
At some point, I got a real nice inkjet printer that had a CD tray for specific white CDRs, and you could just print right on them.
Oh, yeah, I remember those, yeah.
But yeah, it's like, I don't know, there's everything's digital, which is great, honestly, because there's like no real end to the amount of space you can take up, and there's nothing stopping you, you know?
Yeah.
You can spend like $30 and get your album on Spotify or whatever the price is. I never really mess with that.
Yeah. It's like about $50. You go to cdbaby.com and you upload it, and they take your credit card number and you put it up. Yeah.
I mean, it's cool. Like, I feel like there's a lot of I don't know about if gatekeeping is the right term, but a lot of people just wouldn't fit in with a record label or a net label, and just no one would hear it. And now they're like, "Oh, check out this mediafile.com link." I think it's awesome that like anyone can just put it out and put it up for free or make money off of it. Because of my radio show, I'm always looking for free music.
Oh yeah. Yeah, imagine. Oh man, there was a question I wanted to ask, but I want to talk about the radio show. Let's talk about the radio show in a second. I agree with you with everything that you said. I find a lot the tone that I'm getting from a lot of people is that there's too much out there and a lot of it's crap. But like the way I look at it is like I remember being a kid, not even having a computer, like in the 90s, like a computer was a fucking luxury. Those things weren't, there was no Chromebook. It was like you had to get a Pentium 200 for fucking $3,000. Good luck, if you're a kid.
The whole family had one computer and it had its own room.
Yeah, exactly, And then you had to download some fucked software that it was cracked because it was like $1,000, And then you had to learn it. And then to learn it, it was such a fucking barrier to entry, Like, but now you don't need half that shit. You could go on YouTube for tutorials. You have forums that teach you how to do things, And it's the barrier of entry is so low, like you were saying. It's like you could be the next whatever in a month if you really wanted to. You could run your own marketing campaigns with like Facebook ads, Google AdWords, SEO and stuff like that. It's pretty intense actually when you think about it, Yeah.
And like what's great is that people who know how to do stuff love to show off, and they are on YouTube showing you how to do it.
Yeah, exactly, for sure.
But like when I started like just using a computer, I was using a program called Sound Edit 16.
Oh, I heard of that.
It was made by Macromedia.
Okay.
Before Adobe bought them.
Mm-hmm.
The only other person I know that used it for music was Stunt Rock.
Okay.
And I got my copy. My dad's friend just installed it on our computer because he had a copy of it, but like I never owned it. Mm-hmm. And it was just a Soundwave editor, and I just had to figure it out.
Yeah.
So I would just like copy and paste drum hits, and it had a really simple tone generator.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, give me a square wave, and then I would just like take copy and paste it and pitch it and like do it all by ear. And I had no idea what I was doing. It was kind of fun though. Oh, one thing, there was some weird bug in it where every now and then you would hit play and it would just produce static at the loudest volume possible.
Oh wow, great.
Which is great when you're using headphones.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I don't know if this is an intimate question or not, but do you have tinnitus from all like the live shows and stuff?
No, wait. A little. I've had like a slight bit of tinnitus since I was a kid.
Oh, really?
It was just like, sometimes it'll sound like there's a TV on in the other room. All right, for the younger listeners, TVs, even when they were muted, made a sound.
Oh my god, dude. I know. You're the only other person that knows this that I've talked to in my entire life.
And I'll get something like that in my ear, but it's never like a ringing. It's always really faint, but I've had it since I was a kid.
Oh my god, I can't believe you brought that up. When I was a kid, I used to like tell my friends, I'd be like, oh yeah, I bet you I could tell you if the TV's on or not in the living room. And that's all because it was like a buzzing sound or something. Yeah. And I was like, how could you not fucking hear that? But anyways, you brought up fellow D-Trash Records artist Stunt Rock. How did you were chiptune, but you were also, I guess, known in the breakcore community too. Like, did you find it hard to like sort of balance those two things, or did you just kind of do the same thing for every show, or did you have did you try to separate the two, or?
I always pretty much did my thing, but
yeah,
it was like it was something that was, I heard someone describe screamo the same way, where it was like, it was too hard for the emo crowd and too soft for the hardcore crowd.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I was.
Yeah. That's a hard line to cross, you know. I wouldn't say I'm chip break, but the last decade I've been playing all my stuff off Nitro Tracker just because it's easy. I don't want to bring a laptop or anything, you know, re-noise and, you know, I don't know. It was a good gimmick. But I played these like industrial parties and stuff, and I always felt like kind of weird going up with like a fucking white DS Lite while these dudes have like multi-monitored like setups that they're all, you know, yeah.
I remember trying to use Nitro Tracker and not doing too great with it.
I emailed the guy once and I said, "Oh, I use this live," and he sent me a thing back. He says, "I can't believe you're using that live. That thing is so fucking buggy, and it crashes. But like every time I play live, few and far between, it crashes all the time. But whatever. What am I going to do, right?"
I don't know if they fixed it, but I remember it couldn't have more than like a megabyte of samples.
Yeah. That was, yeah. I don't want to take up too much of your time, Nigel. I said it was going to be an hour there. First of all, thank you for coming on. Totally appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah, you're an OG. You know, I every time I see you doing something, I'm always really proud because I've known you since 2003. You know?
Oh, come on.
No, it's true though. You got your projects, your new projects like the Zone Act 1 and 2. My God, did you use an actual Genesis, or you just took the samples, or like how did that?
No, I found the whole thing was I was super excited about Sonic Mania coming out.
Oh man, that's dope.
And I found someone had made a pack of FM8 presets that were all instruments taken out of Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Oh, cool.
And I was just kind of like, I made a track, and I was like, I could do like 3 more of these by the time this this game comes out. And what was crazy was it hasn't happened in a bit, but there was a chiptune, very small chiptune festival in Indiana, Evansville, Indiana, called Little Sound Assembly.
Okay.
And I think it was the last one that I went to. I had this like cool Sonic Mania shirt from the Yeti that I had just gotten, and I got to the show and I walk in and this guy is like, "Hey, I designed that shirt."
Oh wow!
And in my head I was like, "Is this a Drew Wise shirt?" Because he's kind of a big deal. But I couldn't remember if it was his, and if it wasn't him, I didn't want to be like, "Are you Drew Wise?" And they'd be like, "No, I'm this guy." So I was like, "Oh, what's your name?" And it turned out to be Drew Wise, and we like talked a lot through that night, and he heard me play, and I played a lot of like Sega stuff, and through that he started talking to me about doing a Sonic or like a Sega release through the Yeti.
Okay.
Which is how this 12-inch came out. But it's always been really crazy to me. Like, what if I had worn a different shirt that night?
Oh, shit. Yeah, I guess. Who is... Okay, I'll be the Philistine here. Who is Drew Wise?
He's an artist. He's just like really well known in like the... I don't know, like video game fan art. It's more than that.
Okay.
He's one of the people. I don't know how many people are in it. It's a small group of people that run the Yeti.
Okay.
And they do like usually 2, sometimes 1 new shirt a day. And like I had always loved them as soon as I like discovered them. Even if I hadn't done a release with them, my closet is like 95% Yeti shirts.
Oh wow.
So it was like I had never thought my first full 12-inch would be through a t-shirt company, but I was really stoked that it was like my favorite t-shirt company.
Yeah, that's awesome. A
lot of people don't even have a free favorite t-shirt company.
Do they give you? I think mine is Gilded. Those are some damn comfy shirts.
I'm more of a Toltecs guy.
Oh, there you go. Right. Okay, I got two more questions for you. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's of the Frank Zappa album name. Does humor belong in music? Because I know you're a bit of a comedian, and you're also a musician. So, but you know, I find you separate the two. You'll throw in funny things, but it's not, you aren't full on like banging people over the head like this is supposed to be funny, you know?
Yeah. I think it's. I mean, it depends on who's making it, but yeah, I think it at least has a place in music. I know there's always a saying, at least in the comedy scene, that like every rock star wants to be a comedian.
Oh wow.
Especially like stories from like UCB where they'll have someone come in and like do a monologue.
That's the Upright Comedy Brigade, right?
Upright Citizens.
There you go. Canadians.
And like they'll never say who it is, but they're like, this guy was terrible.
Okay.
Like it'll always be like some like low level rock star that thinks they're really funny.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll do stuff.
It's like David Arquette thinking he's a wrestler.
Is that a thing?
He won the WCW championship belt in 1999 or something like that.
Well, kudos to him.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
It's a long road.
It is, yeah. Sorry, I cut you off. Your story about
okay.
rock stars being. The question was, does humor belong in music? That was all. Yeah.
I think it does. I think. I mean, I never want to be someone that takes myself or my music too seriously.
Yeah.
I'll hide stuff in tracks that are like only funny to me.
Yeah.
Like in the chiptune scene, there's a sample of a guy going break. That's really, it was really prevalent and became a joke. But I'll do something where like I will take a sliver of that sample and loop it and kind of like almost granular synthesize it into something.
Okay.
Like 2 seconds, and I just think it's really funny.
Yeah.
And no one would know.
Yeah.
Or just like throw in little homages. But yeah, for sure. Like, there's if you can't write. I don't know what I was starting to say there. If you can't take a joke, get out of the venue, I guess.
Okay. All right, so last one here. Let's talk about your radio show, though. I think it's What Is This Radio? Is that it?
Yeah, it's just What Is This? I changed it on Mixcloud because my boss was like, he thought we could get sued because we don't pay to host stuff, and I was like, we're not hosting it. He's always afraid of everything, so I just like took any reference to the radio station out of the title. But yeah, it's just, I call it What Is This on WRRG as a reference to the best show on WFMU.
Are these? I guess these are Chicago channels?
No. WFMU is in New Jersey.
Okay.
I think it's broadcast from New York and New Jersey. The best show was a comedy show that Tom Sharpling did.
Okay.
And now he just does it as he does it from his own studio online, and he has like a Patreon because he wasn't making any money off of it. And that's because it was public radio, and I don't know. I would definitely check it out.
Okay.
John Worster, who's a drummer for like Bob Mould and I think Superchunk and like a bunch of indie bands, he will almost every week call in as a character from a fictional town called Newbridge.
Okay. That's a good name for a fictional town, actually.
Yeah. And there's maybe 2 decades of Newbridge lore. Like, they've really built this fictional town, and I can't even explain it. It's just something I would recommend.
All right, cool. I'll check it out. Can you listen to your radio show or not radio show on online?
Yeah, our station broadcasts through tunein.com, and you'll have to go there and search WRRG. Also, I think WRRG.radio.net.
Okay.
Which I didn't know existed till recently. And my show I also do through datafruits.fm.
Okay.
Which is a really cool... It's just like a bunch of weirdos doing radio shows.
Oh, sick. And are you taking like demos and stuff? Because you said you're looking for people.
I mean, I'll always check something out. And if it fits with, what I want to play. Like, I usually do DJ mixes. Usually like a 30-minute mix and then a break, and then I'll change genres or at least like BPMs. But yeah, if you want, I have an email. It's whatisthiswrrg@gmail.com. And if someone wants to send me some music, I'll check it out.
Awesome. You hear that?
If there's swear words in it, I won't.
Okay, you hear that, listeners? You gotta bleep out those swear words. All right. Cool. Well, man, Nigel, thank you so much for coming on. I totally appreciate it. I feel like we covered like a lot here. Oh yeah, one last thing. Nigel knows snacks.
Nigel knows snacks.
That's a great show, man.
I sent me some snacks.
I know, because I know the struggle. There's no coffee crisp in America. You
know what? We have these stores called World Market. Which has a lot of stuff like that, like candy and chips from different countries and different areas. They're always out of coffee crisp.
Oh, wow.
The last 3 times, I was like, I'm getting a fucking coffee crisp today. Nope.
I think I'm going to go, I'm going to open up a tour. I'm going to go on like one of these like underground tour sites, and I'm just going to like get coffee crisp from fucking Costco and sell like these bulk coffee crisps and just get all this Monero and like Bitcoin and send it to Americans. And a Kinder Surprise. I'm sorry the Kinder Surprise egg was broken, but oh well.
Oh, it happens.
It's a little overrated. It's okay.
Yeah. And I think they lifted the ban recently.
Oh, really?
We had something called Kinder Joy.
Oh, wow. Kinder Joy. That sounds like an industrial band name.
It's weird. There's like a thing of frosting with these crunchy balls in it.
Oh wow, thing of crunchy balls.
Yeah, it's a product. It's the perfect product.
Awesome, Nigel. Is there anything you want to plug before we wrap this up?
I mean, I got Zones on vinyl at the Yeti. YETEE. Yeah, I had to think about that. Nigel Knows Snacks on YouTube. You can go to What Is This Radio on Mixcloud. And just type Saskrotch into Google and a bunch of stuff will come up.
That's with a K, by the way, people. That's SASKROTCH.
Oh, wait, and there's other sites, like, I think Instagram and Twitch, I'm actual Saskrotch, because it was taken.
Oh, yeah. That's right, huh? How's Twitch? Is Twitch good? Is that is that is viable place to put stuff content out on, or?
I mean, I just play games on there.
Okay, I guess that's what it's for.
Yeah, I don't know how. I always love taking breaks when I'm playing video games. So
Yeah.
some of these people who will go for like 5 or 6 hours just taking pee breaks, I have no idea how they do it.
Oh wow!
Like for me, I'll do like maybe 2 hours because I'm online and I'm like, I can't just, there's people here, I can't just walk out. But that's usually the most I can do.
What are you playing? Like Fortnite or?
No,
I don't know any. I'm a 35-year-old boomer. I don't know what the fuck is happening anymore, man. Like I don't know. It's like, is that the word I'm supposed to use? Fortnite.
Fortnite is one of those games. I was like, I don't want to be a Fortnite person. It might be great, but I don't want to be into it. And also at Thanksgiving, my 8 and 9-year-old nieces were constantly doing Fortnite dances. So I was like, it's probably not for me.
Okay.
No, usually when I stream, I'm just checking out something on the Switch that I've never played before.
Oh, cool.
That's one of the things is like there's people who are really good at like 3 games and that's all they play, like to get the new record. And I can't watch it.
Yeah.
Like I've seen you do this level 10 times.
Yeah.
I like playing something that's gonna surprise me or like that I have to learn how to play. I think it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't imagine someone trying to like beat the world record in Ikaruga and like play that for like 12 hours a day without piss breaks. I don't know.
Yeah, like I mostly follow people that play Mario Maker because
I love Mario Maker, man.
Yeah, it's constantly new levels. Like
on the 3DS or on the is that on the Switch or
it's on the Wii U.
Oh god.
And there's a 3DS version. They just announced Mario Maker 2 for Switch.
Yeah.
And so many people are stoked that they can finally get rid of their Wii U's.
Oh man. Yeah.
All they used it for was Mario Maker.
Yeah, that system that's like the 32X of the last 10 years. Yeah.
I have a 32X though.
Oh man, come on! Space Area for that is fucking great, and Virtua Fighter is great for that. Virtual Rate, they only had 30 games, and maybe 15 of them were pretty good. Yeah,
I got it when I got it. It was new inbox from Toys R Us for $20.
Yeah, they had the games for $5 each. I remember that.
I got what I have. Knuckles Chaotix, which everyone hates, but I love it.
Doom.
I had Doom. Cosmic Carnage, which is like a weird fighting game.
Yeah, and there was like a code to put the Japanese version. Do you remember that?
No.
There's a code for Cosmic Carnage, and it turns it into the import version, and the characters are different, and it's called something else. I forget the name of it.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, you could Google that. What about Fred Koppel's 36 Great Holes? You have that?
I don't have that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The other one I think was the Star Wars arcade game.
Oh man, yeah.
Which was pretty good.
Shadow Squadron, you ever play that?
I don't think so.
Or Stellar Assault, I think they called it in Europe or whatever. I don't remember, but yeah, if you get your hands on, because if you have an EverDrive, you could play 32X games with the EverDrive. Not that I condone piracy or anything, even though I mentioned. Anyways,
you should buy your 32X games from the manufacturer.
Yeah, exactly, so they could get the money. Anyways, yeah, check out Shadow Squadron. I'll put it in the show notes. Nigel, thank you for your time, man. This has been a really good podcast, and it was good catching up, man. I miss you. Last time I seen you was like several years ago. If there's ever like a big thing in New York, I want to go down and the toy company guys here kind of go down every now and then. I should go down and see what's. Are you playing any shows in the near future? Or?
I'm playing a show on Saturday.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's going to be before this comes out.
Okay.
Doing a show. My new hardware setup is TB03 and NES and a Genesis. So
yeah, you had those videos on Instagram. Yeah,
I'm doing my first live set with all 3 of those on Saturday.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounded great, actually. It was like really good. Cool. All right, man. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Take care.
All right, you too.
Yeah, bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Bass Fug Podcast. Please check us out on social media, on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Add us all there. Leave a comment. If you're listening to this on YouTube, if you could just leave a comment. Tell us what you like, what you didn't like. Thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. Just communicate with us what's going on. Share it with a friend. And if you would like to be a guest on the podcast, let us know. Hit us up. And we'll work you in, because we just want to promote, cool new music and production. And even if you're like a promoter or you're writing a zine or something, we're just looking for it all. We just want to learn, You could visit the website, www.bassfug.com. That's BASSFUG.com. And that's where the blog is. So we aren't doing articles as much anymore. We're just going straight balls to the wall podcasting now. So thank you for checking us out, and add us on social media, and join us next time. Thank you. Bye.